Hi there. Welcome to KManz in Your Corner, mastering your A game, meaning all of the things that nobody can do for you but you. I am attorney and coach Kimberly Mansfield. And if you watched any previous episodes, I had mentioned that I may make this week about a vocab rehab part 3. So to kind of continue with some additional notes and examples, which I promise I will do eventually, or that I was going to move on to train your brain, putting our monkey mind to work for us, which I promise I'm going to do in the future. But I was looking at my notes for those and I couldn't connect with the material as far as where I'm at right now. And so I looked forward at titles that I thought, wait, what really lands with me that lands for everyone here, anyone going through divorce custody, and quite frankly, in life. This is stuff that affects life. And so I selected the topic, tactics, and it's about extracting the assets from anger. Life comes at you fast. It did for me this week. Personally, within 24 hours, I'm a live-in caregiver for my parents, and within 24 hours, I got 2 devastating diagnoses. One, the first, expected. The second, completely out of left field. And my dad's going to have brain surgery in the morning. A super healthy dad. Now, it did come at me fast, but nowhere does life come at you faster than in divorce custody, right? It's always something. And I decided to talk about anger because I'm using the tool. We're going to talk about a tool that I love. It's super easy and it's actually kind of fun. And I wanted to talk about anger because one, why we've all been angry, right? And why is it important? Because it's low hanging fruit for us. It's easy to react angrily. It's easy to get our buttons pushed, to get a little triggered when you're dealing with all the really, really life's important stuffs like you are in divorce custody. It's really easy. And yet, I think we all know it's not just outright constructive. And if it's not constructive for us, then it's probably not constructive for our case. It's probably not constructive for our parenting or our co-parenting. It's certainly not constructive for our health and well-being because it really corrodes our circuitry and our chemistry. And this is the thing. Anger is rarely where we're actually at. Anger is armor more often than not. And it's where we go because it's easy, right? And it's been said that anger is fear's bodyguard. I can certainly relate to that right now. And did you know that when you get angry, I mean, obviously we go flush in the face sometimes, or some people, get really energized or super tense and all that. But really, from an evolutionary perspective, anger was to keep us alive. Did you know that it puts blood into our extremities, namely into our hands, so that we could more quickly defend ourselves or hold a weapon? And it shoots, all that chemistry and circuitry and adrenaline, all those things, including stress hormones, out into our body so that we can react more quickly, so that we can protect. It's an evolutionary protection. But in our current day and age, in that we're not dealing with saber-toothed tigers, even on the days that it feels like we are, it doesn't serve us. And this tool that we're going to chat about, man, it's a gold mine in that, again, it's free, easy, and it can be a great game. It does wonders for me. So maybe some of you have heard about the anger iceberg, very common. I'm not sure that it's John Gottman at the Gottman Institute who coined it per se, but I'm going to share my screen in a minute because I have a PDF of that. We'll put a link in the description that you can download your own PDF And I'm going to tell you why you want to do that and why I'm going to ask you to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we're going to look into that breadth of iceberg that's beneath the surface. You know, that big stuff that the Titanic crashed into, right? The top, the surface. I don't know. It seems to me that you know, when we've only scraped the surface, that's kind of what anger is. It's a defense. It's trying to keep us alive and safe, but it kind of does a poor job of that so often. So let me screen share here and get into, so here it is. This is the anger iceberg. And it really illuminates what prompts us to be angry. And it helps us unwind things. We can find better solutions because we'll be addressing the actual issue instead of trying to triage the anger, which can be like putting a Band-Aid on a broken leg, right? You might tamp down the anger, but it's not really addressing what motivated it in the first place. So this is about when you are enraged, furious, livid, pissed, ask yourself, what am I really? And use the iceberg. So for instance, right now, am I angry, outwardly angry at something or someone? I'm not. But anger is tricky. In divorce custody, I think it is that it's more targeted at a something. But then other times it's not targeted at a specific something. And either way, this exercise still applies. So for me, I'm not just being angry. What I am being is I'm being prickly, focused in a sort of stoic way. I am quick. My triggers are on high alert. And here's the thing, when I look at this, I am feeling scared for sure, grief for sure, stressed for sure, nervous, oh yeah, anxious, lonely, worried, insecure. All of those things right now in this situation for me are coming up. But the things I hear from my clients, you know, are often, and I know you've experienced, there's not a person here who hasn't, are those things of feeling attacked, annoyed. Ooh, that's a, that's usually an understatement. Worried, stressed, certainly, depressed, humiliated, all of those things. So a really cool way to use the anger iceberg. And again, grab off the link, download it. It'll be in the description. Print it out. I printed this out years ago. I printed it out and I put it on, I laminated it, first of all, and I put it on, it hangs on my refrigerator. And for everyone who passes by, it's just right there. And that sometimes when we're just feeling, you know, we like just sometimes you just don't even know what direction that you want to vent your anger, but something's going on inside, right? But to be able to walk by and go, oh, there it is. I'm feeling disrespected. Oh, I'm feeling tricked. Like we said this and now they're doing that. I'm feeling helpless. Those are really common things. Certainly, and I mean, every single word on here are really common things I hear from my client. But when you walk by and you distill that anger down a little bit, these are the assets. Because anger is one of life's greatest check engine lights. It's an indicator of other things. It's so chock full of information. That's why knowing these are the assets. It's really cool. I get clients' comments back, and I saw it also like hanging this on the fridge. And then when kiddos get frustrated, and especially they can't articulate, you know, in a sophisticated way what they're feeling and what's going on for them. Oftentimes, they can look at this and you can go, which ones of these? What do you think's going on in there? And they can point instead of saying them. This takes that focus off of don't be angry or I shouldn't be angry. And it also puts it out there, hanging on your fridge. It puts it out there not as someone else pointing a finger at you. There's no judgment. This is a judgment-free zone. But we also want to get constructive because it's like, yes, I'm feeling all these things and feeling angry. But yes, and what's after the and is the constructive part. How do we address these? I mean, if you're feeling helpless, how do you assemble? Maybe you need to reach out to a friend. Maybe you need to reach out to a coach, maybe so that you don't feel helpless. Maybe it's time to get a consult with an attorney or a parenting coordinator, or to get yourself into some parenting counseling for what are, life's biggest challenges. But you can look, and I find it's rarely one. I do find that kiddos are more likely to point at something than to be able to answer or say it outright. And it's like, those are interesting, right? Okay. They're much more informative, right? If your kid just says, I'm mad, what does it tell you? What do you really know? I mean, you can guess a whole bunch of things, but maybe you'll know a little more about where they're coming from. In using this, you certainly will know more about where you're coming from, and it will help clarify your goals, your aims, your strategies. How do you go about it? Anger is like the scatter shot, right? It tells us so little besides that it's important. I think that's what it tells us. I think we are angry commensurate with the importance, and these are life's biggest deals. For adults, I would encourage you, I was encouraging my clients, like pick a few of these when you see them and just jot them in a notebook and maybe do some scribbling, meaning stream of consciousness, writing them out, drill down. Why, what does that mean? What happened? And kind of get some clarity within yourself. It's those uncertain things when they're swirling around, right? Inside, like we just feel icky. And they can be very nondescript. We just know we don't feel good and we are not happy about it. This is a way to defuse and diffuse some of that anger into something constructive. We can dial it down so it's not taking that massive toll on our system. And anytime it's doing that, it is spilling out onto the kids because it comes out our pores. And I'm not giving my spiel and my favorite research thing on how that scientifically works. If you want to hear about it, check out the first 3 episodes. I go into it there when I geek out on my neuroscience. So I'm going to unshare and you're going to get, you can download this again. So that's it. There's the assets and anger, but you've got to consciously mind them. Go look for them, try them out. I would love to hear back families that put them on the fridge. See what they do. Sometimes it's, I found that I suddenly made far more amends to people where I'd reacted. I thought I was angry. And then I would figure out like, ooh, this is going on. And it's kind of over here. And I would go back and go, oh my gosh, I didn't even know. I didn't know that the reason I was short or cut you off or whatever, this is what was prompting me over here. And it wasn't my intention. And I understand that I then triggered you or hurt your feelings. And it was just really informative. And that's where we can do inventory and then try better, right? This is judgment free. And our utmost and our A game, if we're serious about this stuff and that's important to us, and we don't want to just live life on default, because there's a whole lot of anger when we live on default, then I think you'd be surprised that a little bit goes a long way. So I want to hear the feedback. I want to hear what you think. I want to hear if you throw it up on your fridge and, your 7-year-old will point at something when, they're just having a meltdown and nobody really knows exactly why. Try it out. So click the link, get that. Also, certainly subscribe to the channel. Share with somebody who may be going through similar things. And quite frankly, these are life things, right? This is a transferable tool. I just really resonated with this right now because it's affecting me in different ways. And I'm shutting things down. So, but the anger stuff is inside of me and I'm feeling it come out my pores as I'm trying to keep myself on task because I'm responsible for much that's going on right now. And I thought, oh my gosh, my clients are going through this every day, every day. But you've got this. And this is just another tool in your toolbox. So again, subscribe, like, share with somebody who it might help. And see you next week. I'm not even committing to a title for next week yet. I'm going to see how it goes. But I will look forward to seeing you back here. KManz in your corner, mastering your A game. All the stuff that nobody can do for you but you, which means that is your power play. Take excellent care. I am always in your corner. And I will look forward to seeing you real soon. See ya.